The Turnpike Sports Pro Football Pick segment is brought to you by Betfred Sportsbook. Never miss a bet with Betfred Sportsbook. Betfred Sports brings over 50 years of experience through the United States betting industry. Straight bets, in-play wagering, parlay cards, teasers, and more. Head on over to BetfredSports.com or download the Betfred Sportsbook app in Colorado, Iowa, or Arizona and get in on all the action today. New signups will receive up to $250 in free bets when wagering $50. Download the Betfred Sportsbook app today. Offer valid in Colorado, Iowa, and Arizona only. Visit BetfredSports.com for terms and conditions. Please gamble responsibly. If you have any questions or concerns about your gambling or someone close to you, call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa, 1-800-NEXT-STEP in Arizona, and 1-800-522-4700 in Colorado.
Welcome to NFL Week 11. This is the Turnpike Sports Pro Football Pick segment powered by Betfred. I'm Doug Weishuttle here with Dave Weishuttle. We're here to give you our best bets for the upcoming NFL weekend. Been a kind of an interesting weekend.
Very interesting.
The Eagles lose their first game of the season.
Yeah. I as an Eagles fan, you hate to see them lose, but you know what? You know they were going to lose one or two or whatever. I'm glad they got it out of the way. I mean, if they were undefeated going into the last week of they're going to play all their starters if they were so far out ahead? That doesn't make sense.
They were bound to lose a game.
You know what? In the long run, I keep telling myself this might be better for them as a team. So, congratulations, Washington. They had the blueprint of how to beat the Eagles. Just keep the offense off the field.
That's with a lot of high-powered offense.
well, certainly, but Washington actually did it. They maintained possession. They hit their third downs when they had to, and good for them. They took a lot of time off the clock, and they maintained possession. And
a dumb penalty at the end, too.
Well, look, I mean, there was some. I don't want to go after the refs. It sounds stupid, but the referees were terrible. I mean, how do you miss that face mask? I mean, the guy almost ripped Goddard's head off. I mean, that's just absolutely ridiculous. But hey, that's part of the game. Bad refereeing is part of the game. So you take what you learn from this loss and move on.
Yep. As a Jet fan, I'm in an unusual position. I've got the Jets playing for first place in the AFC East, sole possession.
Interesting game for the Jets. They win, they're in first place, probably, and they lose, they're in last place.
Well, no, if they win, they are in sole possession of the AFC East first place.
Yes, they are.
Usually in the past, over the last 2 decades, as a Jet fan, the bye week was one of the best weeks of the regular season because you knew the Jets weren't going to lose on a bye week. But now here we are. They're playing in games that matter, and it's a very unusual position for that team. Just like the Giants.
Here's a little tease. That is one of my games that I picked. Okay. The Jets game is one of the games I picked.
Well, speaking of our games this week, let's move on into the pick segment here. Just so you know, the underdogs and the unders are still both hitting around 60%.
Okay. Well, I'm bucking the trend this week. You'll know what I mean when I do my picks.
I've got an over as well.
Okay. So. I have a couple overs, which disturbs me a bit, but I kind of like them. So we'll see.
After 10 weeks, I have to go back and look. I don't remember picking too many unders this season.
I don't know.
I gotta go back and look. But anyway, in the pick segment, powered by Betfred Sports, we use Tuesday morning lines. So please check your lines before you place your bets on game day or Friday, Saturday, Thursday night games, whatever, what have you. Go ahead and check your lines before you place your bets. Smart move anyway before you do anything.
Absolutely.
We do not do money line bets.
Too easy.
It's too easy.
I save them for my parlays that I lose.
We do the point spreads and totals only. And like I said, we use Betfred Sports as our sports book of choice here for the Pro Pick segment on Turnpike Sports. And let's head on over into the games segment. Let's do the first game of the week.
All right. My first game, and I think it's going to be the game of the week, actually, is the Dallas Cowboys visiting the Minnesota Vikings. The Dallas Cowboys are favored by a point, and the total is 47.5 points. Like I said, I think this is going to be a great game. The Cowboys are coming off a heartbreaking loss against Green Bay Packers, and the Minnesota Vikings are coming in with a record of 8-1. What an amazing season Minnesota is having. Yeah, I think this is going to be an extremely close game. I actually think the Vikings can actually win this one outright. I just love the way the Vikings are playing. The Vikings are 3-0-1 against the spread in their last 4 games, and 3-0-1 against the spread in their last 4 games that they after an outright win. So I think the planets are lining up for the Minnesota Vikings, and they're playing at home, and I just love the way they're playing right now. I'm taking the underdog Minnesota Vikings in this one.
Well, I chose this game too.
Okay.
The one thing I noticed about the Dallas Cowboys, when you look at who they've played this season, they've only beaten one playoff caliber team this year, and that was the Giants.
Okay.
The last time they faced a playoff caliber team was the Eagles, and they did not look good in that game whatsoever. Here you've got the Vikings coming in, 7-game winning streak. They are a playoff team. They're playing incredible football offensively, defensively. They step up at the right times. You bring into the Cowboys here. The Cowboys are 3-8 against the spread in their last 11 meetings with the Vikings. They're also 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 games in Minnesota. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I don't think the Dallas Cowboys are what everyone thinks they are because of who they've been playing. And Green Bay was just an indication that maybe something is still off with that team.
Well, I think Dak Prescott is still getting his legs underneath him. So, I'm very curious to see his progression through the year.
I heard one announcer on TV called Dak Prescott right now the weakest link of that team.
Interesting. Okay.
But either way, I really think this is going to be the Vikings' 9th win of the season.
Oh.
I think it's going to be Vikings +1. I think they're actually going to win this game.
Oh, wow. You're actually agreeing with me.
Yes.
All right.
Let's head on over to the second game.
And my next game is the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Bengals are 5-point favorites with a total of 41. You do research on all these games, and there are trends you just can't ignore. I mean, I think they're going to play each other tough, and I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, and these are the trends that I couldn't ignore. The under has hit 3-0-1 in their last 4 meetings in Pittsburgh, and the under is 6-2-1 in their last 9 meetings. So it looks pretty good that the under is going to hit. Here's another under stat. If you look at the Bengals' last 9 meetings against an AFC opponent, the under has hit for the Cincinnati Bengals 8-0-1. And who knows what the weather is going to be like in Pittsburgh.
Yep. Especially this time of year.
Yeah, who knows? But it's one of those trends you just can't ignore when you're researching these things. So I think I'm going to go with the under in this game, under 41.
My next game, the Carolina Panthers traveling to Baltimore to play the Ravens. Baltimore is favored by 12 points in this game. The over-under is 43.5. Ever since the Panthers got rid of Matt Rule as their coach, they seem to have figured out how to play offense again. They've been scoring points. Their running game even improved after
as
getting
long
rid
as
of
Baker
Christian
Mayfield doesn't do the headbutts with
without his helmet,
with his teammates, it should be fine.
That's a typical Baker Mayfield thing. But they've been playing much, much better. They've been scoring points, and Baltimore has been scoring points all year. And as a matter of fact, both of these teams, over their last 4 games, have scored at least 20 points or more in these last 4 that they each have played. And while the under is 5-1 over the Ravens' last 6 games, if you look at the totals that they were playing those 6 games with, the lowest total there was 46.5. Mm-hmm. Here, the total is 43.5. I just think if you look at what the Ravens and the Panthers have been doing their last 4 games, that makes me go towards the over here with the 43.5. Not to mention the over is 4-0 in these teams' last 4 games against each other. Mm-hmm. So I'm doing the over 43.5. Let's head on over to the final game of the week.
My last game is the New York Jets traveling up to Foxborough to face the New England Patriots. The Patriots are favored by 3, and the total is an incredible 38.5 points, which is incredibly low. I think it's going to be an interesting game because I think, everyone's saying how Bill Belichick really has the Jets number. I think it was at 13 in a row he's won,
Yep.
But I think the Patriots are primarily a running team. I guess that's why the total is so low. But they do find the end zone. I mean, the over is hit. It's like 8-2 in the Patriots' last 10 home games, and I think this is going to be a lot closer game than a lot of people are thinking. I think it's going to be back and forth, and then you might even see a garbage touchdown by one of the teams in the very last moments of the game. I'm just taking the over. I think the total is way too low, 38.5. I would think it'd be like 40-41, something like that.
Well, I'm going to be pulling for my Jets in that
Yeah,
game,
well, I'm pulling for a
first
lot of
place on the
touchdowns
line.
by anyone. So
This is another trend the Jets have to buck. When first place is on the line, they cave. So it's going to be interesting to watch this.
the Jets are a good team. They're 4-0 against the spread
Yes.
in the last 4 games. So, and what was that stat? I mean, they are undefeated road team.
They're the only undefeated road team right now after the Eagles lost on
Well, the
Monday
Eagles
night.
played at home in Philadelphia, but no, the Jets have not lost on the road yet.
Yeah, so they're
Shocking.
4-0. Both, but yeah,
Absolutely
they're 4-0.
shocking.
Yeah.
I had to go look that back up. It just didn't sound right.
And if I remember correctly, the other part of that stat is I think they're 4-0 ATS too.
Yeah.
So it's both 4-0 on the road undefeated, but also undefeated against the spread.
Unbelievable.
Last game for me, the Chicago Bears traveling to the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta's favored by 3. There's an over-under of 50.
I looked at this game. Atlanta killed me last Thursday night, and so I'm not taking them again.
Well, the Bears killed me last week.
Yeah, the Bears
as well.
killed me too. So
They were 2.5 dog against the Lions, and they lost that game right at the end of it, as a matter of
actually,
fact.
weren't they favored? I think they were 2.5 favored.
No, they were 2.5 dog.
Oh, okay.
Looking at the Bears as an underdog again this week, I really am right back to where I am. It's a +3 here for the Bears. And the Bears are 1-3 overall in their last 4 games, but they actually have been playing playoff teams.
Mm-hmm.
The Falcons, when they play playoff teams, are 0-2. They haven't beaten a playoff team yet. So I think you got to look at maybe the Bears are maybe a little bit better at this stage of the season in certain areas. In the last 4 games these two teams have played against each other, the underdog, which has been Chicago each and every one of these times, is 4-0 against the spread.
Okay.
And after starting the season 6-0 against the spread, the Falcons are 0-4 against the spread.
Yeah.
They're trending in the wrong direction in terms of betting.
I
trend here.
jumped on the Falcons when they were trending in the worst possible way.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm off the Falcons right
Well,
now.
I'm off the Falcons completely. That's why I'm doing the Bears +3 in this game.
All right.
All right, let's recap our picks for the week.
Okay, I'm taking the underdog Minnesota Vikings. I'm taking the +1 points against the Dallas Cowboys. I'm taking the over 47 points in the Cleveland Browns Buffalo Bills game. And again, I'm taking another over. I'm taking the over 38.5 points in the New York Jets Patriots game.
I did the Vikings +1 against the Cowboys, just like you. I did the over 43.5 in the Panthers Ravens game, and I did the Bears as the underdog +3 over in Atlanta against the Falcons. These picks will be up on the Turnpike blog. Head on over to turnpikesports.us and click on the blog button, and you'll see our picks in print form. Please feel free to comment on the picks on the blog. If you want to make your own picks, they're fine with us. Info@turnpikesportsradio.com is another way to reach us. You can follow the show on Twitter @TurnpikeSports or @TurnpikeBets, which is our alternate Twitter handle. We've got Facebook @TurnpikeSports and Instagram @TurnpikeSportsRadio is our handle there. So enjoy your Sundays, everybody.
Good luck, everyone. And that'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.